Hey, welcome back to
Let's talk marriage.
where we speak marriage through transparency. All right, one day we will get that together. I promise you, we will be in full sync to do it together. Well, welcome back, guys, to Let's Talk Marriage. We have been away for a while.
About 2 weeks.
We've been gone for 2 weeks. We had a lot to go on, but before we dig into that, let's go ahead and put our little third up here so that we can go into. I feel like I'm just out of sync today. I don't know what's going on, but nevertheless, we are definitely back. So we are on all the social platforms. So right now, you can reach us here at YouTube every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Then we are on Instagram. We are on iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify. And we are also on Reddit. We are everywhere, aren't we?
Trying our best to be.
So we have been out and gone for 2 weeks, and I'm telling
Yes.
you, it has been a really, really, really. It's been a tough 2 weeks for us. I didn't think that I would even be able to come back on here, but you know, we got to do something to keep our mind on things. You know what I mean?
Correct. That's why our topic, and even to the point why we're here is, I think we all have to have this discussion once in a while.
hmm So our topic today is about death, mental health, and like just the how to. So those of you who know who are here, we really just appreciate you first of all for coming back on the show with us because we're super excited to be back. I'm definitely excited to be amongst the living. We've had a lot of death around us, but here recently, my mom passed on last week, and it was really
Devastating.
it was devastating for me to get the call that that your mother is no longer here. That's very unexpected, and so it was really hard for me. But I made it through.
Yes, you did.
It's
You're
still
strong.
just a week later, but what do you do like when you're in a marriage and and family members and things like that start to pass away? Because not too long ago, my husband just lost his mother. It's now marked, what, 2 years now?
2 years, yes.
2 years. And I saw that, it was hard for some of the things that you had to do for me. Like I saw you getting choked up. You couldn't breathe at one point when we were going into the funeral home. And it was really tough for you.
I couldn't get my anxiety start kicking out. There was something going crazy. I thought I was losing my mind. I said, let me get up out of here before I be like the child in the corner telling my, I'm stuck, can't get out.
Yeah, what do you think anxiety is? I saw you go
I
there
know.
trying
I'm
to
like,
gasp for air.
can you open this door for me, please?
Yeah, he was trying to get out the door.
And they look at me, I'm like, y'all don't understand. Look, got this door. If not, I'm going to walk through this door.
But I do appreciate you for being there for me every step of the way. Even though you couldn't come into certain parts with me, you were there every step of the way, just as I was for you with your mom. Like it's really hard when you lose a loved one. Like sometimes what I find is that I'm the oldest of four children. You're the oldest of three, and you have other siblings that have their ideology of what they want to do, and then you have your thing of what you want to do, but then people want you to be strong and you're just like, wait a minute, like it's just been day one. It's just
And
been day one.
it is really an issue when we as family can't come together and make a decision because
Yeah.
one will control every little inch of it, then get mad because all the pressure is on them.
Yeah.
Hello, we
Yeah.
are here with you, but you took us out of the equation and decided to go on your merry way.
Yeah. It's we have to really understand, and I'm thankful because my mom actually she had a. We didn't have to go do no GoFundMe. We didn't, and even if she didn't have a policy, we would have been able to make sure that we were able to pay for the things that we needed to pay for. So I'm thankful that we had those necessary things. I wish that we actually brought Jessica on the show to talk about life insurance policies and some other legal things like wills and all these different things. I'm just thankful that my mom had all those things, so we didn't have to struggle or scrape up or do any of those things. it was already, taken care of. So that was something that was a big load off, but we
Yeah.
just needed to go to, the funeral home to make those arrangements.
Yes.
One of the other things is, that we have on here. So we talk about the death portion, and I'm taking like breaths here, and I hope that I'm not moving too fast. And those of you who may have any questions or anything like that, you can post your questions. And I also wanted to just say thank you for all your condolences and your prayers. I definitely felt a lot of you. Uh, I'm telling you, you never know what you need until that time actually comes.
Until you need it.
Right. So mental health is very, very, very important. I didn't realize, weeks or months prior, I had been doing a lot of praying, and I didn't understand why I was praying the way that I. You remember, I was just in here praying.
My thing is God will prepare you for certain things to come,
Mhm.
and known to yourself, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So if we don't get ourselves prepared mentally, allow God to prepare us, how do you expect to get through something that you don't understand?
Yeah, yeah, because I didn't understand a lot, but I'm telling you, those prayers definitely worked.
Yeah.
And I really just appreciate the people who called in, to have a word of prayer with me. But not only that, to those of you who were just a listening ear, or just sit on the phone with me while I cried, or just just sat there. Sometimes some people didn't know what to do.
And see, that's important. When my mom passed, she'll tell you, I really didn't accept no phone calls. I didn't really take no texts. Matter of fact, people would text me, I did not even respond,
Hmm.
because my personal feelings was like, I'm going through this. Nobody really understand what I'm going through,
Yeah.
and there's some people just calling you just to be nosy, and it's like you're not even here to give me a deaf ear, but you
Hmm.
want to sit here and, I guess, pamper, or how should I say, you know,
Oh, I
get your
know what you're
feelings out of the
talking
way.
about.
It's like, really? Are you playing me right now? So what I had to do, I literally isolate myself, and people was not calling me, talking to me, texting me at all. All once in a while I may get a text from somebody that I haven't talked to in years.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my God,
yeah.
you still have my number?
And that's the weird part. Like when you're having to deal with people calling and crying harder than you, or what I noticed that I didn't like, and I remember when your mom passed, I did not say, I know how you feel, I knew this, and I didn't know any of those things. I was just there, and I didn't say anything, just like you did for me. You were there, although you said, I understand the feeling. I don't know what you're feeling right now, but I know that pain looks familiar,
Yes.
And I'm telling you, people, they will call, and then they would start crying and saying all, and I started to say to people, I would just start to say, okay, well, I gotta go. I have something that I need to, do. He was telling me to hang up on people, but I couldn't, because, it's like, I started to console them. That was crazy.
I got tired, for me, when growing, and especially I'm in a marriage now, and I'm looking at my wife, and I'm like, to sit here and to have people not understanding, to tell you I understand, and then sit there and try to bring up memories to make you cry, to try to get you to cry. It's like, oh my goodness,
Let
are
me
you
let me tell
serious?
you what your brother told me. My husband's brother. He's a pastor. He makes me so sick. But he called and he made me laugh, and he let me cry on the phone with him. He is funny. He said, he said, Taisha, when they start praying and they start crying, he say, I want you to do this. And he said, start saying, oh Jesus. He said, watch they pray harder. My God.
She did it.
I
She
did it.
did it.
And they pray harder. I'm telling you, like, you don't know. And it's not to say, like, like
You're not appreciative
we're
of
not
it.
appreciative of it, but I'm like, give me a minute. And I appreciate the people who gave me a minute. Like, you've been off, it feels like 2 weeks you've been off.
Yeah, then you talk about, yeah,
Oh, I told him he had to go back to work. Let me tell you, he's been home and he's been aggravating the crap. I'm like, your clothes are clean for work. it's time for you to go. I washed all his clothes. I folded them up nice
And
and
I
neat.
appreciate you, wife.
I folded them up nice. I was like, you're all clean and ready. You got to get out of here. I want you to go home. Go home to your
No,
job.
I am home. We go to
your
work.
other job, your other home. Go to your job. He's been home just doing too much. I'm like, okay, it's time. It's time for you to go. Even my son said, Daddy, what are you doing in here that mommy had to come in my room to get some rest? He snores so loud, Jesus. But these last 2 days you haven't snored that loud. I guess you've gotten the rest you needed.
No, it's time to go back to work.
That's how you go back to work. You gotta go. Jesus, I'm happy you're here, but you got to get up out of here. You gotta go. But I'm telling you, it's been trying, but I'm laughing sometimes to keep from crying. I'm remembering, like this flower here. I thought this was so beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see it. They give those arrangements and things like that, and someone had given. I don't know who it was, but my grandmother had it, and I kept looking at it. I was like, this is so beautiful, and they had given it, at my mom's funeral. And she said, "Well, Taisha, you can have that. Like these are not just for me. It just came to my house because this is the address that everybody has. But you can take it and you can have it for you." And I'm telling you, we spent time with my grandmother. My daughter's birthday was the 21st. She wanted to go over there, and she said, "Grandma is probably alone. She lost two children." And my grandmother is burying her children. And so I sat there with her when we went over there, and she was so happy. But before we came, she was just sitting in the dark.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, "Grandma, don't sit over here like this. I'm gonna come and check on you." My grandmother's 80 something years old.
Oh, she was happy because we got over there.
Yeah, he cooked.
Make cake, and she just sit there smiling, ready
Yeah.
to walk in.
She's
So,
like,
y'all cook
yeah.
right on time. I said, I have no plate.
Yeah.
So it's like the thing people have to understand when it comes down to something as that, you have to get a person a mental time, a mental
Help
help.
give them some time.
Give them some time to adjust to it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
When you pound on somebody's head to try to get them to talk about it, sometimes they don't want to talk. Allow them to be who they are until they decide to come open.
And I don't know, we have, some people on here that have recently gone through that. And I don't know if they went through this, but with people sitting I had one lady sit on the phone with me and to try to get the information of how my mom passed. And she was like, "I didn't know she was sick." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." I'm telling you, people, they think I don't know if they think you're stupid. I don't know what it is, but it was annoying me. Again, like I said, I'm appreciative of so many things, but I think that sometimes people, because you don't know what to say, what I always, tell my clients to ask people is, what do you need from me in this moment? How can I serve you, or how can I help you?
I remember there was one incident that one of my coworkers, their brother had passed. I didn't ask why did his brother pass. It was not my place to ask that question.
What did they pass
Or
from?
what did they pass from, or what happened. Eventually, he told me, but I did not care. My place was to be there with him. So me and the family packed up together, went to the funeral home, and we was there with him.
Yeah.
To this day, me and him is good friends because of that. Because he know that I got his back no matter what. It's like, let the people know that you got their back.
Yeah.
It's not about, oh, what happened to your loved one? No, what do you need?
Yeah.
What can I do to help you get through this process? Is your mental state is okay? Especially as a husband, my main principle to my wife was, "Baby, are you okay? Get out the house. Let's go somewhere. Let's do this. Let's do that. No, leave your mama alone. Let her get some rest."
Yeah.
Because nobody really understand what she was going through.
Yeah. I'm telling you, because the people didn't know, the depression blanket started to feel really, really good. And then my daughter, she just kept saying, "Mommy, it's almost my birthday. It's almost my birthday." And I kept saying to her, I was like, "I know, I know." And she's like, "Are you going to get out that bed?" And I said, "God, you got to really help me to understand this, and to be able to get up and do something." And every day they had me up at the park. I was walking, and I didn't want to, but I knew I needed to, because had I laid and continued to lay in the bed, depression would have continued to
Yeah.
just set in. I literally had to call, my own therapist, and I had to talk to somebody. I had to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I had to talk. But I couldn't talk to people who thought they knew everything. I needed somebody to just listen. My husband was there. He understood, but I still needed to, speak to somebody that, that had some degrees on the wall that can tell me, what in the world am I feeling? What am I going through? What is happening with me
Yeah.
right now? And I'm glad I did that,
I mean, because how can I help somebody that help us with the same issue?
Right.
That
I'm a
was
therapist, but I'm going through,
something that she really don't understand.
I didn't understand it. I
And
didn't understand
my
it.
place was just to stand there until she needed me. That I tell people as husband or as a spouse, it's our job to stand there next to your spouse
Mhm.
and be there until they need you. Sometimes I didn't force nothing on my baby. You need to eat something. Eat something here. Okay, you okay? All right. Go in your room, lay down, get some rest. Get some television, get yourself together. Give her some time to be until she figure out what she wanted to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see some of you are chiming in, and I really appreciate you chiming in here on the side. Remember to comment, tag, like, and share. And if you want to call in and say something, or if you have a story that you would like to share, you can always call in at 754-303-9976. The number is below for anyone who wants to call in. But we have a note here from a father's home, Minister Lionel Nelson. And he's saying that it's more taxing than anyone may think.
It is.
And you really just don't know how you're gonna feel and how you're gonna be until it happens. Now I understand why you have to kind of keep going, because if not, you will be depressed.
Yeah.
Being the oldest of four, it was hard seeing my sisters and my brother. They, were breaking down, and here I am, the oldest, and I'm breaking down myself and not knowing what to do. And then my children, who
Going through.
were, close with my mom, my son, the day of, he actually was there with us to, not viewing the body, but there when everything happened. And he thought it was a dream. The next day he woke up screaming. My kids, I was down, trying to handle some business, and they kept calling. They said, he's not doing good. He's not doing good. I'm way in Miami, and then we live way in another, direction. And I'm just like, telling his sisters, just hold him for a second. He
Yeah.
was really close with my mom.
And
She
even
always
to now-
bought him like his little ice pops.
Yeah. And even to now, he's still in his some way still moaning.
Yeah.
Even
Mourning.
When he leave the house, he'll call us back
Every
to
five.
back to back.
Yeah.
And I understand. If I only get mad, but I say, son, go ahead and talk to me for a minute. I consoled him. I talked to him. Get him off the phone right away because we got to translate some business.
Yeah.
But as a family, we have to stick together, and especially in something like this here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's important, because that support, that family support that we receive from each other, help us be stronger.
Mhm.
When you decide to separate yourself and decide to do it on your own, you leave yourself vulnerable
Mhm.
for the enemy to play with your mind, and depression could come in very, 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 very easy.
Yeah, that enemy doesn't play fair. He does try and play with your mind. You find yourself saying things that you don't mean to say.
Yeah.
I kept quiet most of the time until I actually had to speak. And I would always in my mind I would say, God, give me the right words to say, because now we're dealing with other, attitudes and other, feelings and opinions. And here I am, everybody's looking at me for a response. And even my grandmother is saying, no, she is the oldest. And I'm just like, sometimes you have um, oh gosh, the ability to do certain things that you don't want to do, and the people that have the authority to do certain things, they don't need that authority.
Correct.
And so you have to be level-headed when dealing with family, period, and trying to be calm in a stressful situation. And everybody has these attitudes and different opinions, and I can't even fathom. We have Minister Lionel here. He just recently lost his father, and he's sharing, and I thank you for sharing that, because you didn't have to, but thank you for sharing this when he's saying that I am still dealing with my father not being around even months after we laid him to rest. And, he has a large family.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I can only imagine everyone trying to get together to do, what's right for their father and doing the things, the right way, the way that he would have wanted.
Correct.
Because sometimes we could say, hey, I want to do this and I want to do that,
But it's not about you.
but it's not about you. My mother wanted to be cremated.
When I really think about it, we have to learn how to respect the divine relationship of life when it comes to the family. If you don't respect the order of life,
What does that mean when you say
without
respect?
order, as in who's head and man, woman, the eldest down to the youngest.
Hmm.
Sometimes God will put certain people in place to deal with certain situations that you think you could deal with. But when you step outside the order of life and try to deal with it yourself, you inherit some enemies that you thought you didn't need, that you couldn't handle.
Hmm.
Do you wonder why you're going through certain things in your life? Because you're trying to deal with something that is not your place to deal with.
I think you going all the way to the left about something else.
Oh, no.
I know what
No,
you're saying.
no.
Like
What
I
I'm
get
saying,
what you're
reason
saying.
reason I say what I
Go
said,
ahead.
because when it comes down to it, that's why I say sometimes people have to understand when it comes to family, we have to learn how to respect each other in our place so we can love each other better.
So, I think that is the role, like, of the. I know what you're saying, so I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit.
Appreciate you.
So, I think that is the role of the parents. So, like, I always tell my children, like, my husband has another daughter. She's 19 years old. She is not here, but in the house, in our marriage, my daughter, Sarah, is the eldest. And so I always tell her, you are going to have a charge, you have a responsibility. And it doesn't mean like, because sometimes, the middle child or the youngest child can be a little bit more mature or they're doing things a little different, but it's always something about the eldest child that can handle things a little better. Each child is different. And I always tell them that there is an order. There is an order, but I don't think that we will, because we're already have things set into place where our children have to make certain decisions that it's already made.
Correct.
And to be honest with you, I didn't know that you can already have your plot and you can already have, how things are going to go. You can pay these funeral homes in advance,
Yes,
way in advance for what I didn't know that
yeah.
until we got there. And the man said, "Oh, your mom's stuff is already paid for. This was already done." I was like, "What?" I didn't know that you could do that. And so these are things that we learned, just during the death of my mom. And I was like, that's something that I want to do because I don't want my children. And thank God that me and my siblings didn't fight. Like
No,
we
God.
had some tiffs, but it wasn't like blowouts. And everybody had their anger. But
Eventually, y'all came together and
yeah,
got it taken care of.
yes, because we all showed
Despite
up.
the feelings of each other, y'all decide, something, this is best for us.
Yes, and for our mother, and she was cremated. So and that's kind of an image. Thank God we didn't go to see that, but that is something that you don't want to
No.
want to see.
She asked about it. I was like, no, you're not going to do
No,
that.
don't go do
I said,
that.
because if you go do that, I'm going to stay home forever because you will make us sleep forever.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that, we still don't even know the real cause of death because the toxicology reports and
So like two
all
months.
those things, it takes 2 months for you to receive that. And then we have to go through all these feelings and emotions
Yeah.
all over again. So I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And anybody that has to go through this or have been through this, it is not a good feeling. Especially, just sitting here. We went to, what is it? The singing preachers last night.
Oh, yeah. They saw.
And you had a little emotional moment. You want to share with the people what was going on?
Tell them my business.
Well, it's our business.
The thing is no matter how old you are, like I tell my daughter one time, God bless it. Yesterday I turned 46 years old.
Woohoo!
I feel young. And the thing is no matter how much a person try to be strong, you'll have a moment where you miss that loved one.
Mhm.
I still miss my dad. I miss my mom. I miss both of them. They have the moment where I think, dang, my dad told me this here, my dad told me this here. They always have a moment where more so than ever was on my mom. My mom, even when we went to
Singing
the singing
pastors.
pastors, my mom used to love hearing singing. I remember growing up, going to church 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Don't get home till 7 o'clock in the morning. That was church back in the days.
Yeah.
Minister now, I don't know about that.
All
And
day long.
and they have the singers come out. They be singing all night long, all night long, all night long. Right off of 22nd Avenue and I think it was 95th Street.
Yeah.
All night long.
I mean,
singing,
when we say all night,
singing and
all
singing,
night.
you name it. If you think of the gospel keynotes, all of them used to come out and sing. And I remember being out with my mom and my grandmother. All of us be out there singing, just having a good time. And we would fall asleep, wake up, and next thing you know, time to go to school.
It's time to go to school. We are telling you, we were his brother took us out to dinner last night and to celebrate his birthday. And I was like, you know what? I'm not hanging out with y'all pastors no more because y'all don't know how to go home. We out all night long. It's 12 o'clock. The kids were
We
up.
got kids home.
I'm like, the kids were up, and then his kids were out at the. We're eating, and we got cake. I'm like, it's 12 o'clock at night. We eating cake. We got acid reflux. We can't have this kind of stuff. But it was fun. Like, and I remember, your mom always singing in church and things like that. And they had a little a mother and a son duo that was there, and it reminded me of your mom and your brother.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that's just really, really, that's really cute. And I saw you were choking up a little bit,
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
It
It did remind
caught
me of
It
your,
caught me.
yeah.
It caught me, and I'm like, oh wow. That's the moment you had that. I wish my mom was here.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter how many years they come, it can be always that moment. I wish my mom was here. I wish my dad was here. And if you don't understand that he get that phone call from your parent once in a while, it you miss it.
Yeah.
You miss it.
Yeah.
You miss that. Mom, how you doing? Mom, you want something? Going by, checking on her, doing different things for her.
Mhm.
Even passing by the apartment once in a while, it's like wow.
Yeah.
And it's like no matter how old you get, that memory don't go away.
Yeah.
And like I tell my wife, I say, no matter what, the memory live on with me.
Mhm.
And all I can do to my kids, my children about their grandmother.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to move past this because I don't want to get, super emotional, but we do. I remember telling him, I think it was a day or two after, and I said, we're orphans now. And I was like, oh my God. He was like, we're not orphans. I'm going to take care of you. I'm like, who's going to take care of us? And we just laughed a little bit, and then I just started crying all over again. He was like, I'm going to always take care of you. And then here comes my son. Mommy, I'm going to take care of you too. I'm like, oh, baby, yes, you're going to always take care of me. Don't be jealous. Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater all your life. You raised him that way. All he do is he love his mama. And so I believe that you are going to take care of me. We're going to die old and gray
Oh
together.
yeah, it is my
Oh.
manly and my husband duty to do that.
So we're going to go ahead and move past this a little bit here. I wanted to highlight also, I want Jessica, she's on here, she's a lawyer, but she also does like will and testaments and different things like that. I want to bring her back on the show, and I hope she agrees to coming on to talking about that for those of you who don't have it and need to understand a little bit more about, how to get your plots and your stuff just already ready so your family doesn't have to deal with that. I want to bring her back on so she can talk about that with you guys because it's something that you don't want to not be ready or have your family to have to
Right.
deal with GoFundMe and all this other foolishness. You just need to be ready.
Hold
Just
the body up because they don't have no place to bury it.
right. That's crazy. So I'm thankful that we didn't have to go through that. Lord, I'm just grateful.
Right.
So I also wanted to highlight someone else, Dominique Dumerville. I want you guys to just continue to just pray for the body of Christ. There has been deaths left and right, left and right. Every time I'm on the phone with somebody else has died. Somebody
Right.
else's loved one has passed away. And we have this lady here. I say this lady. Her name is Dominique, and she wrote a book called "Just Between Us Girls." Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can see it. Just Between Us Girls. I didn't have time to do the whole the thing in the back because I was just moving too quickly. But Just Between Us Girls is an amazing book. Let me tell you, let's listen. I've been, look at my little ears that I've been highlighting stuff in this dang on book. This book is good from the get go. From the time you open it, you can't even put the book down. This book is good for women who are just, and excuse my nails, I just took them off today, so y'all don't be hating on me. This book here is for women who are seeking to be married. And I believe that this is a good wedding gift for women who are, newly married. This can be used as, I'm telling you, this book can be a weapon as well if men don't understand how to use it properly. But this book here, let me read. Let me read chapter 3, The Art of Conversation. Let me just a little bit, because I already brought the book. Look at my highlights. Look at so chapter 3 says the art of conversation. Arousing a man isn't that difficult, but arousing his spirit and mind is a whole new level. A good woman will be able to speak to a man's spirit with God filled words. So she quotes Proverbs 31 and 26. Y'all got to read it for yourself. But it says that when a virtuous woman opens her mouth, she speaks wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. This is essential. May the words that come from your mouth speak truth and grace to everyone, especially your beloved. I'm trying to read it like she would read it because she has an amazing speaking voice. You guys have to hear it. So the last part says, stimulating his mind, will, and emotions to see himself the way God sees him encourages him to grow as a man, husband, and father. Wives, you are continually teaching your husbands how to live and love, so do it gracefully. Had I had this book before I got married, let me tell you ladies something. I probably would listen, man. I wouldn't have took you through all the junk that I took you through. You'd have been a little bit better. Oh my goodness! But so we're gonna she was actually supposed to be on the show last week, but when my mom passed, we couldn't get her on, of course. But we're gonna try and get her on. She's had some death in her family, and so she's traveling now. And I want you guys to pray for her because this, when I tell you, when she comes on and she speaks about this, this is something I'm telling you. This is absolutely amazing. So I want to definitely buy a few copies so that I can gift them to a few people. But with that being said, we are on now. What are we doing? Pillow talk.
Hello, talk.
We are doing pillow talk. Now, I done took all my little pillow talk stuff off. Like, we have literally been like not playing with these knobs and stuff. So you guys are just gonna have to know that we're in pillow talk
Yes,
right
we
now,
are.
right? So get on a little pillow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Get on a little pillow.
Our
Do you
pillow
got?
for the day is
Do you guys? So I've been shopping. I've been shopping, and I've been having some problems. But do you guys like my little fall stuff? I'm not a decorator, but I put some fall stuff up. Like, I'm ready for fall. Don't be like that. Get your life together. So it's 8:30 and we should be off by now, but we're gonna go ahead and move. You ready?
let's go.
So this is a wow card. I want you to
Ooh, wow.
sing your favorite song or the lyrics that you can think of
Ooh.
off the top of your head.
As soon as I get home from work,
Oh,
I'll buy you clothes.
that's a song where you gonna talk it.
I'm gonna talk it. I'll cook your dinner too.
You do all that. As soon as you get home from work, you're doing that. What is the song I could think of off the top of my head? I was just singing it. Now I can't get that song out my head. That's so wrong. Now all I'm thinking about is I'll buy your clothes, I'll pay your rent, I'll do your what is it? I'll cook your dinner too.
As soon as I get home from work.
You do all that stuff. I'm not gonna do this because I forgot my song. I don't have
That's all
one.
right. That's all right. That's all right.
All right. So the next one is a perfect day together would be what?
Hmm.
A perfect day with me would be what?
A day in the bed.
Mm-mm.
Doing.
Mm-mm.
No, no, no. Listen, listen. On Netflix, looking at all our shows. We got the kids.
Oh, you already know. As soon as I'm coming up out this hat and these clothes, and we are going to Netflix. I don't know about the chill part. We're going to Netflix and sleep. So a perfect day together. That would be the same for me, like sitting and binge watching our shows. Oh my God. And we get the popcorn and stuff, and the kids are like,
You get the
Mom,
popcorn.
yes. Mom, Dad, are y'all coming out? No, no.
Don't knock on my
Don't
door.
give us a minute. So yeah, that is it's me. It's your favorite son. Can I come in?
No.
Okay, what is the and these are just some so what we're doing now is the pillow talk segment where we talk about things that you would do normally during pillow talk and or things that you could why are you looking at me like that?
We tell Mr. Pillow Talk segment.
What you got
We said the Pillow Talk segment. And that's what we in right now.
yeah but what oh my gosh
You
you got
explaining it again like we just starting all over again.
I did it already. You see my mind?
Yeah, that's okay.
Don't do me like
That's why I'm
that.
here with you. Yeah.
Okay, what is the hardest truth you had to face this past year?
Oh,
I don't think we shouldn't even pull that card. But go ahead. What's the hardest truth you had to face this year?
I prefer not to say.
Yeah, I don't think I want to answer that either.
Nah,
But these are some questions.
That's a question. I ain't gonna say it's an emotional attack, but
Yeah.
it is a question that I had to face for the first, not for the first time, but reality hit when it came out to that situation.
So why don't you just say it? We can do it.
Oh, okay.
I'll hold you and you hold me.
I put my feet.
Come on, we'll hold each other.
We hold each other.
Look at my muscles. Look at my arms. They look so good. Look at that. Look at these muscles. Okay.
Sexy. My biggest what is truth?
No, what's the hardest
My
truth?
hardest truth was the truth when it came down to my eldest.
Oh, you're so emotional.
I'm not being emotional. It's the truth. It's the truth.
Okay. But I mean, you guys have to go to past videos to see the truth about that because we've talked about that extensively. You want to open that wound?
Oh no, my room is closed. I band-aid on it, band-aid off, his own room, healing everything. I move on. I'm just saying you asked a question, I answer it.
That is true. I did ask the question.
Okay then. We moving on. Your turn. Share, share, share.
Oh, you jerk.
Oh, I'm your jerk.
So, of course that I won't, wake up on Fridays and hear my mom begging me for $5. Taisha, you got $5. Come and bring me $5. Ted Ilias, come bring me $5. I won't be able to hear.
I want some Popeye.
I want some Popeye's chicken. And well then if you don't have it, then Uber eats it to me. Uber eats it to me. So that's the hardest truth I'm having to face right now. So we're gonna go ahead and close out. We are not going to be before you guys long. We're
Too
only
long.
doing 30-minute segments going forward because I think it's too much to just be on here just talking.
Unless we just have a special.
Who?
Never know.
You're right about that. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Do-do-do.
Phenomena.
But guys, we love you guys. I appreciate you guys for sticking out, giving us all your praises, all your sympathy, all your love, and all your care, and all your phone calls. Everything helps because sometimes you don't know what you need until you need it.
Yeah.
And one thing I could say, you guys show up and show out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Even the ones who were doing too much, you really we thank you too because you were trying to do something. You were trying to show your concern, and we appreciate that. So going forward, if I don't answer my phone, please don't take it no kind of way because sometimes I just don't want to. I don't want to share it. I want to share it with who I feel like sharing it with in that moment. And if you get me and I pick up and I start crying, You asked for it. So
So, guys, do me a favor. Take one day out of your busy schedule and have a mental day for yourself.
mental health
A
day.
mental health day for yourself. You sit in the corner and relax.
Mhm.
Allow your mind to be free of all your troubles, so you can actually look at your life as it is today and enjoy it.
Why they got to sit in the corner?
But sit
They
outside, sit
they
under
had
a
time.
tree,
They had time out.
sit at the lake. Hey, some people do some time off. I don't know why, but
Y'all don't have to sit
don't
in the corner.
lock yourself in your bedroom. Please don't do that.
That may be their safe place.
Sometimes it's not good because you bad. It's like being knocked on that.
Okay. Well. Again, you guys can find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Reddit, Instagram, and YouTube. You can find us here on YouTube every Sunday night at 8 p.m. We will be back on next week's Sunday. We're going to just continue on and see what the end's going to be. We do enjoy doing this, and we're definitely happy to be back. And again, thank you so much for all your prayers and your concerns. We really do appreciate you, and we'll see you next time on Let's Talk Marriage.
God bless you.
You may be sick.